see if this works because apparently it's not letting me uh, project my sound across over on the other stream. So we're gonna do this mobily. We're gonna do it like this, and we're gonna do it another way. So what I'm gonna do, hopefully that does the trick. Got a little bit of battery power on this, so we're gonna make it last as long as humanly possible. What I also do need to do, we need to share this as well. So let me just make sure if you guys can hear me. Let me go ahead and try to get this all figured out because this is just being a pain in my butt. So, okay, cool. We can finally hear you guys. And I did say that I did want to hang out with you guys, and I'm living up to that because that is what I want to do. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get this sent out again. How you been, by the way, man? All right, so it means I'm gonna have to delete this one because this one didn't work out for me. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that one here in a second. But in the meantime, it's good to hear you doing all right. I just got back from the laundromat and all, so got some clean clothes. Fixing to play Dead by Daylight, if anyone's interested, by the way, because oh my gosh, I'm hooked and addicted to Day by Daylight now. So I've got that going on for me. So I'm waiting for January 27th because Dustin Henderson from Stranger Things will be available as a character to play, which his alternate outfit is supposed to be Eddie Munson. So I'm excited for that. So that's why I'm trying to save up some of those blood points from Dead by Daylight. But I'm ecstatic. I'm ready to just eat. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I do recommend people actually play that game. It's very fun. It can be kind of, it can be a little bit stressful sometimes, but I don't know. I just like going with that. So I think the last time I tried to do a stream, it was what? Let me go back and look. That was about, what, 8 months ago. Wow. What down is that? Dwight reminds me of Herbert West from Reanimator. Oh my gosh, bro. So when I also found out that they had the Eddie mascot from Iron Maiden on Dead by Daylight, I'm hooked. So I have to save my money now because I definitely want to get myself the Samurai Eddie killer, dude, because that is like so dope and badass. Wow, we actually got more people coming in. I didn't really expect that, bro. Other than that, during my absence, I have been working on some projects of mine. As a matter of fact, was gonna show it, but actually some of my projects are on my phone, so I'm not gonna be able to show it via there because I'm via live streaming. So I gotta be a little bit more creative than that. But I think I have an idea though now for the next time that I do a stream, because I just realized I have a tablet that I've used before for work. And so, because I used to do DJing for karaoke night, if I have that, I can just use that for the next time. I can just live stream from here, and then I can just use my phone instead. So I actually have myself a brand new tablet, makes things work out. We got all of that. How you doing, Family Games? But I'll start doing live streams from now on with that as well. Do I have any power left, though, is the question. Let's see. Because I haven't used this in quite a while, but if that's the case, whoa, was not expecting that. Let's see. %2 battery left, not a problem though. But this is actually an optimistic moment for me, or an idealistic moment, because if I want to do streams from now, and I know it's repetitive, but this actually requires a lightning cable, but none the matter. This actually works out. So from now on, if I'm doing any live streams here on in, I will be using this instead of the phone. But for today, we're just going to focus on this. But honestly, it has been a tremendous and wonderful day. Got my stuff done. Karaoke night is tonight. I think the only downside is that my voice is not completely there. Like that's just the winter. That's just how it is. But I think after when winter kind of like gets out, spring kind of comes forward in summer, and then that's where my voice gets back into the peak again. But I do like doing the karaoke videos for TikTok and for YouTube as well. I don't really care. I'm not here to monetize stuff like that. But the importance is just to have fun, and that's what I'm just here to do, is just to have fun and just reconnect with people again. So I'm happy to enjoy the time that I have back on here. If you guys have any questions for me, I think we can just start things off. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free. Like I said, I'm just trying to make this as entertaining. I don't really plan my stuff out, but I usually kind of like to get something going on here. But if you guys want to ask me anything, feel free. Just so that way we actually have something kind of going on, because I'm going to try to work on stuff, trying to make things a little bit more entertaining, have a little bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little bit kind of some momentum going, just in terms of just doing things that just have, just having a good time is what I'm saying. So yes, karaoke night. I do that at the Revel every single Monday, which I like to do Metallica and Megadeth songs usually first, but they say the best one I usually do is Billy Idol, even though Metallica is my favorite of them all, obviously. But that's just the kind of stuff that I do. My day's actually been going fantastic, by the way. Thank you for that, Angelic Fish U9C. Like I said, it's been a fantastic day. No work today. It's my only day off out of the week, and I might plan on socializing a little bit more out there. Trying to put myself out in the dating world, so there's that. But try to be a little bit more out there, not just be stuck in my apartment all the time like a hermit. But other than that, my day has been fantastic. So let's see. Some channels, I'm just going to go ahead and just going to do the recommendation for some channels, if you guys don't mind. So if we were to come over here, let me just scoot this over more. We'll do that. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we have Media Nights, Cinepals, God Logic, Apologetics. For any Christian viewers of mine, if you actually have any questions over some, religious worries or whatnot, God Logic is one I can recommend to you. If you guys just like watching like movies with some of your favorite YouTubers on here, if they become, I got Cinepals, I have Media Nights. Let's see. Do I have a pet? I did have a pet. Frankly, he was more than just a pet, though. He was more like a son to me. His name's Wheezy. I do have his ashes, by the way, but like, I do kind of miss him, and I really wish he was still here, because it is lonely here. But do I have a pet? Sadly, no. But we're trying to work around that and get all that kind of set up, and just get back to the nick of things. I would love to have a pet again. What's up, Justin? It's been a while since I've joined your live stream. You've been having a decent New Year so far. So far this year, yes. I guess I will be honest with you guys a little bit that 2025, it has its ups and downs. I'd say a little bit more of its downs than ups, but I'm going to remain optimistic and idealistic that 2026 will be a better year. It has been kind of a struggle a bit. Again, I got to be honest with you with that. But, I'm hanging in there. I'm actually doing good, and it's good to hang with you guys again, and it makes me feel better to know that, even after all that time, I still got you guys right here, and it makes me more humble about that. I do appreciate that. Let's see. What other ones? Have you ever played D&D? Frankly enough, I've played D&D 3 times before. 2 times at the old apartment I used to live at when I first moved here, and then not too far away from my old friend's apartment, who he moved to, I think, Odessa. But I played D&D 3 times. Now, I'm actually looking to actually get the Stranger Things D&D, the Eddie Munson game board. I'm looking forward to that, definitely. Let me put that. Which, speaking of which, for Christmas Eve, I got one of these back clips. It's the Stranger Things Season 4 back clip, which any character you get, I was hoping to get Eddie Munson, but I still got a pretty cool, I got the rare one. I got Vecna right here, so I got that for Christmas Eve, so I like that. A song you think is criminally underrated. I can't believe I'm saying this because even Metallica does not even like playing this song, but I think Escape by Metallica is criminally underrated. I do believe that. Let's see. Have you ever played? But one thing to suggest. Okay, so there's some new stuff on here that I'm not aware of. Do you think Stranger Things is a good show? I actually do think Stranger Things is a good show. I will say, though, honestly, that I do love it. Don't get me wrong there. I do love it, absolutely. And because I'm actually making Stranger Things projects of mine. I'm actually I'm doing some fan-made stories, which is going to be placed in the 90s. But anyway, backing up to the original question. I do love Stranger Things. However, I do think that some of its stuff has its flaws and has some of its some gaps that need to be filled. But I love it overall. Obviously, Eddie Munson is my favorite character of them all, and to prove that, you guys get to have a little bit of a free tour of my house a little bit. Got him right here. I'm going to turn on the light. Got him right there, right next to the other Eddie of Iron Maiden right here, so complete right there. And then I've got the guitar pick right there. So, but yes, I love Stranger Things. You know, strangely enough, I got started on season 4, and then I made my way back from season 1 all the way to season 4. So it's kind of weird how that kind of turns around there. But still, I love it overall. Got you right there. Okay. Set that right there. I unironically want to make an Eddie Munson shirt. I need to get the black sleeve baseball shirt. Ooh! Funny that you mentioned that. Okay. Hold on. Because you know what? Glad you brought that up. Shoot. You know what? Tell you what. Hold tight for just a second. I'll be right back, and I'll answer that question about season 5. I'll be right back, because now that you brought it up, I actually left my laundry in the car, and I gotta go get that son of a bitch. I'll be right back. Woohoo! I'll only be like 1 minute. All right, got it. Speaking of which, if I can pull it out, then by all means. Kill Mama shirt right there. Gonna make a little bit of a mess, but I can always put it back in there. No big deal. Oh, I'm gonna be so mad if it's not there. Oh, here it is. this on real quick because I love, not to mention it's also recently still warm. Just got it out of the laundromat. Perfect. Cool. Woo! So, got my Hellfire shirt. Okay, so to answer the question about season 5. I love season 5, but it brings me to the same conclusion that I'm still filled with a lot more questions than answers. But season 5, sorry, I'm out of breath. Season 5 was a fantastic season. However, just like many things, I'm left with a lot more questions than answers. So, why were there no Demogorgons, in the Abyss or in the Upside Down during season 5? That was one of my main questions. And it never kind of occurred to me that way, but so much potential. Like, did we run out of budget or something like that? But, there's a lot more that I can actually just go off with, but that was just my concern about it, but nothing I can really do. But overall, I loved it. I just kind of wish the battle between Vecna or the Mind Flayer with the others would have lasted a little bit longer, at least by 5 or 6 minutes. It would have been a lot more convincing, but I still loved it overall. Some things, my heartstrings were pretty much being tugged at that point for some certain scenes, but but you never know what the future holds. So we've got that to look forward to. I'm actually, so I am working on a fan-made story that's in the 90s during Stranger Things. Do you go fishing? I used to go fishing when I was a kid, but we're talking 97, 98. It was a long time ago, and I need to relearn how to fish, though. But I do recall at one point, it was in Georgia, because I lived in Georgia at the time, 97, 98. There was a river. There was a few bits of fish kind of going down the river a bit. But it's the only time I've ever remembered fishing, besides maybe the lake in Albany, Georgia, which was deep south. But it's the only ever time I've ever remembered. And I need to slow down to talk. Sorry. Whew. Oh, sorry, I spelled that wrong. Okay, I did not even know what that meant. I mean, you can still get a Hellfire shirt, club shirt, like a Hot Topic, Spencer's. I would try Spencer's first. The Netflix shop actually has the Hellfire Lives, if you want to get one of those as well, too. That would be one of my recommendations to do so as well. So, and I would try Target, maybe, if there is a possibility. I know they had Stranger Things merchandise during that time, but I would say that would probably be a little bit of the guess there, but Target I would recommend. What kind of games do I play? Like I say, GTA Online, Doom, Mortal Kombat, Dead by Daylight, which I'm now hooked on. If I were to think of anything else right now, Street Fighter. I mean, anything that's Super Nintendo all the way up towards PS5. I'm not really an Xbox or a Wii kind of guy as much, but those kind of games up all the way till PS5 are kind of usually the ones that I play right there. Let's see, DIY is also optional. Yes, there is. I think there's a Spencer's Gifts at my local mall in Nanaimo. I can check to see if they have it in stock. That too, and I would also branch out to other places just because I remember getting this one, and there's another one I got at a comic book shop though too that it's just kind of unexpected, but because I was looking all over for this Eddie Munson action figure, and I finally got it. But it took me a while to find out where those shirts were too. But eventually, I got it. But yeah, those places I would definitely recommend. Let's see. If I were to come to that. All right, so I gotta check out live right here. Okay, so cool. I can check that out, and that out. Add suitability. Hold on. This video may earn limited or no ad revenue due to content identified as not suitable for advertisers. This is one thing about YouTube I really do not agree with because, again, while I understand the content purposes of that, but they don't allow certain words, so I got to be respectful to that. Who is your favorite character in Stranger Things? Eddie Munson, head down. Eddie, like, again, because, you know, I wear his keychain, I wear his, like, guitar pick right here, got his posters up there. I even have a, got a denim jacket that has Demo Bat Slayer on the back, pretty much in tribute of Eddie Munson. So, downright, downright favorite of all time. Have you ever watched the show The Chosen on? Yes, I have. I've seen all 5 seasons. I know there's season 6 that's supposed to be coming out. There is rumors and talk of a 7th season, but I'm waiting for season 6 to come out. Unless I'm behind on the news or ahead of the news, I don't know, but I really want to see season 6 very bad. I know it's going to be like heartbreaking to watch. But I love The Chosen. Like, The Chosen is like one of those shows that like keeps me motivated to be thankful that I believe in God and that I actually choose to put my faith and my trust in God and also in Jesus, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, I keep spelling that wrong. Okay, so I am in the right direction of that. Hey, and that's I totally respect that, man. Absolutely. Okay, so I got this. What is your favorite fast food place? Ooh, good question. Good question. I love Pizza Hut, but that's not really fast food. But if I had to choose between, like, say, Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Whataburger, which I love Whataburger, but still, that's actually kind of a hard question for something so simple. You know what? I would actually have to go McDonald's at least because I think it's the burgers for one are good. Like, I'm trying to lay off that, but the chicken McNuggets, ooh, and the buffalo sauce, I love that. Does Firehouse subs count? I'm not sure. Well, good question because I do love Firehouse subs. Same thing with Subway. Same thing with, like, what was it called, Blip back in the day? That used to be a sub sandwich area, but like, I guess you could consider that fast food because it's prepared on the go and you get to watch it too. So I'd say that counts. Top tier. I do like their milkshakes too. Okay, so weird. So how did I go from like 25 to 3 already? That was weird. It fluctuates. It goes like 25 to 13, 25 to like 19, 25 to 3, and then 22. I don't really get the whole. I don't get it. Shamrock shakes are the best thing. You know, something, I've never had a shamrock shake. I've never had a shamrock shake. So I'll have to give one a try one of these days. But I've never had one of those. Favorite cartoon and show as a kid? I would say either Scooby-Doo or Looney Tunes. And we're talking like the 1940s all the way up to like the 1960s. So it's between Scooby-Doo, the 1969 original cartoon, and Looney Tunes. Those two together, dude. New York fries and holy crap. New York fries. Okay. Give that a shot too. There's time lapse. Woo! Let's see. Oh wow, there's some old stuff here. Bro. Oh, dude, my old username and this all pops up. That's so weird. OG Looney Tunes is peak. Love the classic Looney Tunes more than the modern version. Absolutely. No doubt about that there. Hey, dude, I love Courage the Cowardly Dog as well, too. As a matter of fact, did you see the actual fan-made game that they have posted on YouTube, by the way? Definitely recommend you check that out. It was a sight to see. What the hell? Just going through all this stuff. I'm just kind of surprised it's all still there. It's just, wow. 13 years ago. Before Flash perished. All right, let's see what's going on with other people right now. So, damn. Billy Bob Thornton looks so different, dude. Adobe Flash. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. My brain was taking a moment to comprehend because even I'm very slow at times when it comes to, which is ironic because I speak fast sometimes, but my brain sometimes is very, very slow to comprehend. Let's see, who can I look for right now? True. True that. Dude. You know? Dang it, I keep spelling it wrong. There you go. All right. Well, shoot. Guess there is something I need to address on here then.
Way up, and I definitely feel stronger.
There we go. So there is going to be some like some smoke here I'm going to have to clear up. Let me go ahead and actually pull up multiple tabs here. Crap. So, because there's one video I do need to kind of clear up some context for, because apparently there's a bit of a misunderstanding on that. I'm not here for drama purposes, but I do need to kind of clear this up a bit. Because it was brought to my attention that, well, I'm not here to do drama or ranting or whatnot, but I need to get this out of the way. So before we do that, when the first season of Stranger Things was out, what is your favorite character? What is your favorite character? Someone else. Oh, you got to go with Dustin Henderson. Dustin Henderson, I think, like steals the show. If anything, Dustin is pretty much the reason for Steve's character development. Practically, it's like the everyone says that Steve is like the mother, but I just like to say it's more like the father-son relationship right there. But like, I would have to go with Dustin Henderson like all the way for that one. Eddie Munson will always be my top number one, but I will put Dustin Henderson right underneath, because honestly, he's like the son everyone wants. The son, like the son that everyone is proud of. I'll put it that way. He just steals the show. All right. Crap. All right. So I want to kind of address something and just get it out there. And this is not for drama purposes. We're just going to clear some stuff up here. And I'm not asking anybody to do anything. I do not condone any actions, anything negative of that sorts. But this is something I do need to address, though. I had made a video called 2 Important Life Lessons. So apparently, indirectly, I made a response. It was an indirect response and all that. I'm going to kind of slow myself down here a little bit. But I'm going to kind of address this because apparently when some stuff kind of hit the roof a little bit, I made a video which was about the whole drama needs, like the breaks or whatnot. It was just voicing my frustrations and all, and apparently from the feedback I got, or the feedback that was indirect, by the way, apparently I got accused of policing. But it wasn't really about policing, it was just more about criticism. So I'm going to go ahead and address this. And I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm just going to address these points because there is one point I'm not going to really argue with as much. The second point, though, to some extent, I should have provided clearer context for this, but there are some things that I do think that are completely unfair in this regard. So let me just go ahead and address these. And again, I'm not gonna cuss. I'm not gonna cause drama here. I don't want drama, but I do need to kind of clear this up. So this was sent to me, and I was mentioned in this. So this person says, I was going to do an actual video on this, but I think I'll just settle for a lengthy community post for this instead. So if you don't know, at ThrashMetalGuru, me, aka Justin, uploaded another video entitled 2 Important Life Lessons, and I actually did listen to it twice. And it's pretty obvious to me that this is an indirect response to person number 1 and person number 2, being the person that I'm responding to right now. Why, within the first minute and a half, Justin uses the term policing and how he's not trying to police anyone. That stands out to me because that's the phrase I used in our little back and forth messenger about all of this. And speaking of which, Justin, you still haven't looked at my response to you after you tell me that no one is immune to criticism and how you and other ranters aren't obligated to do anything for me or anyone else. Maybe because you just know that your points got completely dismantled, but I'm going to point go point by point here anyway. Problem with this is that you watched my video twice. Now, I will grant you some leniency on one thing, because half of the video actually has nothing to do about what we had discussed, or actually has nothing to do about you, me, the person you keep going after, or the other person that I'm mentioning. It has really nothing to do with us. What I'm trying to get at had nothing to do with that. Now, the first thing, yes, the part one, the life lesson number one, was an indirect response to what you were talking about. It has everything to do with that. But we're going to go down to this right here and go down. But the reason why I say this is that, first of all, what got dismantled, though, is what I'm trying to understand. What I'm trying to really get at is that I made a video because that's just what I wanted to do. And you can choose to do that. You can choose to walk that path that you know what I'm talking about. If you want to continue down that path, by all means. I can't stop you. I can't force you to do anything. This was never the point about forcing. But let's address point number one, because I really don't see the means to like just hide behind it. No one is immune to criticism. Those were my words. Your first life lesson. Yes, absolutely. You said this exact same to me on Messenger, and I did. And now you're saying the exact same thing in that video. And you say it's for your audience. You can say that it's for your audience all you want, but I know damn well who it's directed at. You're not wrong. I mean, nobody is immune to criticism. That even includes me, because I have to hold myself accountable for certain things that I do. But I can understand where you're coming from with this. And yes, you're right. No one is above criticism. Okay, well, here's the thing that I need to address then. Nobody is above criticism. But you got to remember, the same person who I'm also referring to has held me and others to a certain standard. So why is it when I hold this person to that specific standard, suddenly it's a problem? However, there is also a thing as anti-criticism. And again, I don't think you really took the time to understand what I thought about. And let me just also make this clarified and clear here. I'm going to highlight this so I know where I left off. We don't really know too much about each other. We have talked maybe a few times, and the same thing can got to be said about you. I don't know you well enough, but I think obviously you don't know me well enough. You watched it twice, but did you take the time to be like, hey, can we actually discuss this back and forth? No, you didn't. Now, I blocked both of you, and it's a hard thing for me to do, and I will definitely address one particular thing on here. But I have my reasons for doing that. And after all of this, I'm going to walk away because I really don't want to deal with this anymore. I've said everything I needed to say about it, but I'll just go ahead and stress the points a little bit here before I actually walk away and rejoin on this real quick. However, there's also a thing known as empty criticism. There's such a thing as criticism without any real merit. And that would be my criticism for your criticism. So I criticize said person number one because he's constantly going after somebody, which again, I don't care about this person that he's going after. I couldn't care less, okay? The thing about it is that this is a person that the whole entire world does not know even exists. Like, you pass by, you can easily miss within a blink of an eye. So I was told that, I was told by you guys that it was not that deep. Okay, it's funny how 6 years and it's not that deep. 6 years. I didn't just wake up and just decide, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make videos about this. I had no plan to do that whatsoever. I filmed it, I got frustrated a little bit, and I got concerned. I didn't intend for things like this to kind of go far. Because as far as I'm aware, which I will just refer to this person that they're going as DN, as far as that goes, I don't care about him. He is minuscule. He is irrelevant. He is just nada to me, okay? So I just want to make that addressed affirmed and clear. You think, said person number one, posting about DN fairly regularly is unhealthy. Well, I mean, if you're spending 6 years doing that, constantly going after somebody for just the minuscule of reasons, and I don't care if he says what his topics are about abortion, about politics, or whatever, again, like, who cares? I'm sorry, but, or toxic or whatever else, okay, fine. But here's the thing, though. If you were as close to Damien as you think you are, well, we haven't really talked in a while, so I don't know how that kind of came to be. You know that Damien is doing pretty well in his personal life. Well, good for you, okay? But again, actions do speak a little bit more louder than words. Thriving and pretty successful of all things considered. I'm probably better friends with him than you at this point, which good for you. I'm not going to argue that because I honestly don't care, but good for you though. And therefore, I know more about what is actually going on with him. Him taking the time to post about DN takes about maybe half an hour out of his day at most. Well, 6 years out of that matter, which, yeah, it's not a big deal, but yet 6 years, which I'm surprised I kept my tongue like closed about. Let's see. Him taking the time to post about him takes about maybe half an hour out of his day at most. It's not the most indicative of how his life is and actually going out or what state of mind he's in. You're making something way too deeper than it actually is. Okay, hold on a second. I'm not the one who spent 6 years making posts like this. I didn't waste all that time. Okay, good for you, 30 seconds. But let's do the math here. And I'm no mathematician, but post after post after post after post, 30 seconds, but you have 6 years worth of 30-second posts. You're meaning to tell me 6 years. 6 years you spent on a nobody. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to stop you there. You say you're not trying to please, except that's exactly what you're doing. No, and this is where I think you're being a little unfair here. I can voice a frustration. I can voice a criticism because that is my right to do. If you want to continue, or if he wants to continue doing this to said person, then by all means, that is your actions. That is your choice. That is what you do. Fine. But there is still a consequence to it, and the consequence is already paid. I severed ties and I blocked you guys. And it actually genuinely does break my heart that it actually has to come to that. If you don't like hearing about it, then just don't look at the feed, ignore it, or turn it off. Well, I could have, but and you may have gotten me on this one, and that's completely fine, fair enough. But I like to think maybe beyond the shadow of a doubt that maybe sometimes people can change, but unfortunately that is not the case here. Also, as person number one pointed out, DN has in fact been getting worse and worse. Okay, well, if he's getting worse and worse, then why do you continue to feed him the attention? Because you're just going to give this entire thing to him. All I'm going to say out of this, the subject being bashed sucks. And I'm not here to escalate a problem, but we do I'm just trying to clear up some smoke here, because this is where part number two, they kind of misunderstood me, but at the same time, I didn't provide the proper context for life lesson number two, but we'll get into that in just a second. And it's fine if you don't want to take part, you don't have to, which fine, but don't tell others not to do it just because you've chosen not to. Okay, well, it's just criticism at the end of the day. So in that logic, if it's not that deep, then I can just tell you, well, then it's not that deep for me to just give you constructive criticism. And because you feel, in your opinion, that, I think you spelled that twice, that is what in everyone's best interest. Fine, go ahead. That is completely your choice at the end of the day. Not going to contend with it, because after all this, like I said, I'm going to walk away from this and go do something better. 2, I don't buy any of this genuine concern. I'm sorry, it comes off as performative. Well, this is where I have to completely disagree with you, because again, I didn't wake up and plan to make these videos addressing the concern. I didn't just wake up one day, plan this out, and try to get something out of it, because again, I had other things in life that I wanted to do, but I got fed up with what I was seeing, because every time I wanted to go see, like, say, God Logic Apologetics channel, or the Angry Joe Show, the Media Nights, the House MD, which basically, you know, if you watch Dr. House, basically some of the funny clips, you would see, hey, on my feed it has this, but what do I see every single time, every single day when I actually go somewhere, when I wake up, when I'm about to go to work? I see this particular post about this person all the time. For 6 years. Take a break from this for just a second. How did you celebrate season 5 of Stranger Things? Well, drank about 2 beers, waited for the time to kind of go down for the next day, and then that's just how it was. I didn't really kind of spend it on anything special, but I don't know. You mentioned towards the end of your video that you like to maybe start interacting with people on here more and more again, and doing stuff for those said people. So here's my theory. I think you made these videos and drummed all this up to springboard back into YouTube if you choose to do that. First off, again, I didn't plan to make these videos confronting the fact that you guys are obsessively going after somebody, which I will I will state this out, that I agree is a scumbag, is a complete doofus, who is a complete idiot, or a person who does not, and I'm not throwing insults, but I'm trying to understand, or trying to agree with you on this notion. But that's all this person is to me. Nada. Okay, but in the Christian sense, I'm going to kind of divulge a little bit and speak in the Christian sense that maybe eventually this person will kind of turn his life around, humble himself, and be better as a human being. That's the Christian sense. Now, going back to the ThrashMetalGuru sense, the thing about it is that I don't choose to waste my time on this. I don't choose to waste 6 years, regardless if it's just 30 seconds of stuff. But in respectfully speaking, and just saying this humble down, if you want to choose that path, that is your choice. At the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I can voice a frustration. I can voice my suggestions. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I already said that I'm not the boss, okay? I'm just some person in front of a camera. And good for you. You're friends with someone a lot longer than me now. Congrats. Just saying that. And I'm not being condescending, but congrats. Okay, cool. But that's just my perspective, is that a lot of people, including myself, we just don't want to be a part of that anymore. So, where was I? In case if you're wondering what I'm yapping about, I'm trying to clear up some context to a video that I made. One part was indeed responding to somebody, but I'm not going to mention names right now because I just don't want to get into an escalation. But I do want to address some things real quick so I can move on from this, because it's... So if I were to remember... Okay, here we go. Mentioned towards the end of the video that you like to maybe start interacting with people more and more again, which it's true, because I'm interacting with you guys and I'm having fun doing that. But I need to get this out of the way. I think you made these videos and drummed all this up to springboard back into YouTube if you choose to do that. If you barely show any interest in what Damien, or myself for that matter, do on here or otherwise, and you only chose to show interest to start all of this, and then goes so far as to remove myself and Damien from your friends list like I did, so yeah, it strikes me that there's a fair amount of BS here. No, there is no BS. I had addressed something in a legitimate concern to you. You chose to go about it in a way, and my perspective was poor. Said person number one decided to make a video responding to what I was addressing that concern. I told him I love you, but like, at least hear me out. That was the name of the video. And then you say on your stuff, and if I'm actually not mistaken, because I can pull it up, and then we'll get back to reading this here in a moment, but I'm going to go back and read your words. Because instead of addressing it or talking about it with me, you chose to do this. because we could have had a one-on-one discussion about it, but it kind of came to a point where, well, yeah. I'm going to turn down the volume on this real quick because I am not going to use this, but I'm going to address the thing that you said. So this is what you said 6 days ago without even addressing this to me directly, or because I had to come to you for this, and honestly, I had to make that executive decision. Here's your words, and we'll get back to your other words in a moment. 6 days ago. The thing is, even though I've made fewer posts responding to him recently, I'm not too interested in reacting to DN anymore at all, because for quite some time, however, I'll be damned if I'm going to try to tell you what you can and cannot post about on your channel. I think you completely misunderstood that. But on top of all that, how should you spend your time and supposedly evolve as a person? So you're using my words, evolve, because you put these in quotations, because this is the word that I used in a comment on my video when I was responding to somebody. So you're using my words. So I'm also using your words in my video per se. So how is it you're going to hold me to a standard like this and then you criticize me for that? I'm just saying, if people do not like what you're posting or aren't interested, they can always ignore it or unfollow or whatever else. But the reason why I chose to address this is because I have a positive, at least a positive history with Damien, but you got to also remember that Damien has held me and he has held other people to this standard. Might as well address it. Doesn't matter. I kind of name dropped, but oh well. He's held me to that standard. He's held other people to that standard. So I'm holding him to the exact same standard. Okay? Not necessarily about the behavior of choosing to think that way, but it's obsession. Okay? I was called out for having this obsessive behavior over Onision back then and Morgue Official. I had people that criticized me for that. What do I do for work? I work at a retail store. That's my line of work right now. But Drummond, that's not of huge importance. And it's not important, but like, I just don't want the wrong idea to come across to people that I'm trying to be this dictator on YouTube. But I made the executive decision to block these people. And as much as I really don't want to, it's because I think this was gone about the wrong way. And anyways, they talk about how it's a waste of time and not healthy. You know, it seems like a real waste of time to me, bitching about what others choose to do. What's also, that's kind of a bit of an ironic statement, because it says bitching about what others choose to do with their own spare time, yet they're complaining about a minuscule dude who chooses to do something on his spare time to talk about things, whether if it is hurtful or not, I don't know. But again, it's a nobody compared. And about how it's not mature or fitting of them based on that person's own personal standards, but yet somehow I'm being held to that exact same standard before then by the person that they are referring to, who constantly goes after that person. I was held to that standard just like other people were held to that standard, but yet I hold this person to that standard, and it suddenly I'm not allowed. But let's see. Some people here don't do content here anymore and don't even want to maybe think it's negatively impacted on their life. It was negative impactful for me. I can't speak about other people because I don't know their life. I don't know what it is. That still does not mean that I am not allowed to address a concern. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine. You can disagree with it. That I have no qualms with. But honestly, I really wish you could have addressed that with me rather than just use my words in quotations, because technically I'm holding you to that same standard, but the difference is that I'm using your words in my video. That's the only difference. I'm using your words in my video. Now, I chose to block you. I chose to block the other person. But that does not mean, like, I still don't even dislike you. I don't even hate you. It just breaks my heart. And that's and I got to get back to that point here. But that's basically all I needed to address to that matter here. But we're going to go right back to the original point here. Go as far to remove you and said person off from friends list, off of Facebook. Yes, it strikes me that there's a fair amount of BS here. Breaks your heart. Again, using my words and your quotations. I don't buy that. You don't have to buy that, but that is my genuine feeling about this. But It does break my heart because, again, I know we've actually been cool with each other before too, but I believe that if you would have just came to me originally rather than just use my words and just kind of like done that, because the video that I made originally beforehand, I said to said person, I love you, but please just hear me out. But instead, from my perspective, you and your friend chose to deflect. I'm just going to be straightforward about that. You chose to deflect. I have done stupid things on this platform as well, and I got rightfully criticized for it. Okay? That is the standard that I've been held to by many people, including him. So I'm going to be holding him to the exact same standard. And if he does not choose to actually accept the fact that that's standard, he does not have to change what he does. If he wants to keep doing what he does, that's fine. But again, the consequence has already been put forth. I broke away, and I'm not going to mention any names here. Some other people decided to break away too. That's the consequence of it. Anyways, realistically, you don't know Damien or me well enough. And again, same thing. I don't think you know me well enough in that instance. So we got to be fair with each other for any of this to have sort of impact on you. And again, this is all not that deep. 6 years, not that deep. Third, your second life lesson. Okay, here is what we really need to clear up. This is the most important part that we definitely need to clear up. So I'm going to read this entirety and we're going to address it. Your second life lesson is basically that anyone that is bullying or harassing you, not really, this is not what that was about, online, then shut the electronics, because I think they're referring to, I don't know if they're referring to me, but we'll get to that point. Then shut the electronics off and walk away. Are you implying that said person is bullying him? No, hold on a second. Or that you're the one being bullied, regardless, both instances are total BS. DN is choosing to say stuff that is poorly argued and ignorant publicly, and that others are merely responding to him and what he says. Remember, no one is immune to criticism. You chose to put criticism out there, and people either agreed or disagreed with it. I happen to disagree with it. Fine, that's obviously your did. And so did D, whatever, what, obviously bullying my ass. Okay, let's address this particular point right here. The second life lesson had nothing to do with this. You know what? Let's just go ahead and let's just address the names here. Steven and Damien. Dustin, none, you or Damien or myself have nothing to do with this particular area. Part one had a good amount to do with you and me. But this is what I will say that we are both halfway at a misunderstanding here. Now, let me address my accountability for this part here. This is the part where I did not give clear enough context, okay? Because the context of this was something that I had planned before I had made this video, way before I had actually addressed the frustrations and the considerations about what you guys were doing beforehand, okay? So the bullying and all that has nothing to do with your issue with Dustin. So my issue with that is because I have seen things beforehand on Facebook, on Instagram, on other media social platforms. It doesn't matter which, but Dustin Nunn has nothing to do with it. Neither do you, and neither does Damien. But I will say, and I will somewhat concede to this point, that I should have provided clearer context for this. So this second life lesson has nothing, 110%, nothing to do with you. Okay? So I want to just make sure that you guys got that clearly. So I want to move on from that. So yeah, I think that basically covers it all. This entire thing is completely unnecessary. And again, it feels performative. Then you don't know exactly about me or the way that I do things on my channel. Okay? So I'll just say this, even though I really don't think you're deserving of this, or Damien at that point. I really don't think that I owe an apology for this, or because I woke up not having any regrets or any weight on my shoulders, but I think you completely misunderstood what I was trying to say. That's what I think. That's my perspective. Because at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want with whatever you want with your channel. I'm not here to stir drama. I'm not here to continue this or escalate this. but I do think that it is unfair. And I know it's a bad idea for me to address this, but again, once I'm done addressing this, I'm said and done with this. But I had to get this out of the way. Otherwise, people might get the wrong idea. But anyway, just because it becomes unhealthy for some doesn't mean that it's that way for the rest of us. And we know how to separate reality from online stuff. Okay, goody for you. So do I. Just everyone has a different way of seeing things. I have a different way of seeing things, just like you have a different way of seeing things. Okay? So just making sure we're on the same bridge. We do, and then we know how to get immersed to an unhealthy degree. And just because some people chose not to do this anymore doesn't mean that everyone else will choose to do the same thing. I'm not going to disagree with that. You actually have a point there. I agree with that. Not everyone will actually do the exact same thing. People are going to go their own ways in somewhere. And that does not mean, therefore, we haven't grown or evolved. Well, this is where I disagree. I still think that you and Damien still have a lot of growing up to do, just to be clear. But that's not to be mean. I still think that you are just missing a whole bunch of what I had to say. But if you want to ignore that, if you want to disagree with that, if you want to do whatever you want, and just completely up to you. Anyone who has this sentiment in this sphere, take it and shove it up your ass. Those are your words. So let me take a break from this for a moment and look at this real quick. If I get blocked for not giving a fluff, sorry, I guess. Well, that's fine. No, Orlando, it's fine, man. I'm not going to block you. Everyone can disagree with it and such, but I just think that there was a misunderstanding between me and said person. So, new refreshing content would be nice for a change, but it's obsessive stuff. I think what it is that what I have a problem with is that when I look at the repetitive behavior, I'm seeing the very flawed version of me to that instance. But that's just how it is. Now, if anyone is mutual between me, Damien, and Steven, I am not forcing you to pick at all. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm going to be chill about it because I'm not here to judge. But I just wanted to address this and clear this up, that they can still do what they want to do, and that's their stuff. Which, by the way, it's good to see you. By the way, Child of Azareth, I have not seen you in a long ass while. So, but none of this was about being performative. None of this was about trying to garner anything. But like, at the end of the day, it's all said and done. But other than that, we're done. We can walk away from that. We can actually move on to better things now. So, anyways, now that that's out of the way, guys have any questions for me? Anything, just aside from that? All right. Got that going on. Like I said, I'm trying to change some stuff up for me too, and that's just how it is. Got that done. I still only have my one book published. I submitted my second book to some people to proofread so I could publish it, and unfortunately they never got back to me. So it means I'm going to have to do all that myself, which kind of sucks, but that's just how it is. Which, by the way, Orlando, are you still here, by the way? Hey! There's another face I have not seen in a while. How you been, Sadiera? I missed you very much, by the way. this thing's like got dust on it. Do-do-do. Actually, that reminds me. I need to add. So I forgot. I was going to put you as my moderator, by the way, Orlander. I actually owe you that much because you've been around for quite a while. So I'm going to put you as one of my moderators. Yeah, no, I actually experimented with the Kindle's AI system to do the proofreading for that. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that ever again. Fuck that. Here we go. Put that there. It's good to see you again, by the way, too. So I'm going to be doing karaoke tonight, and then I'm probably going to be doing Dead by Daylight. I've been doing good, just trying to do better things in life right now, and had to go to the laundromat, get all my clothes washed and stuff, so. Thoughts on CM Punk being the heavyweight champ again? I love that he's the champ again. I love it. The Stranger Things collab that they did together, I mean, it was okay, but I still like the fact that he's champ. Yeah. Google Gemini? Okay. I could actually give that a try. Feels like, dude, yes, 2011. Like, I hope AJ Lee comes back again because I know, rest in peace, Larry, because I know that's a very heartbreaking thing for them to be going through because Larry to them was like practically their son. So I'm really hoping that, both CM Punk and AJ Lee are getting a lot better, or, they're getting through that kind of stuff because remind me if I'm wrong, but like wasn't Larry was Larry an abused dog or like a rescue dog when they found him? I think so. Just over here. Do-do-do. Oh yeah, I never answered that question, by the way, for Orlander. Billy working out to Rat. He's in season 3. I don't know. And oh yeah, no. Round and Round by Rat. I do have that song on my my playlist, by the way, too. Even though I'm not really much into the glam scene, there are certain songs I do like from glam metal bands. Some of them. So Larry was in fact a rescue dog. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, I haven't uploaded as much karaoke videos as I usually did, only because I think YouTube's having a little bit more of a copyrighted issue, but I guess I'll just turn off monetization to upload those just because I just like what I do with those, but I don't really intentionally like want to make money off those, but then I need to charge this. So if I actually get a cord for that. Nope, that's not it. There's a cord somewhere for that one, but I'm gonna do that from now on. Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There you go. we go. Oh, okay. I misspelled that. Thank you. All right. You guys have any more questions or whatnot? I'm willing to answer. Just I got a little bit of time because I'm going to be heading on to Dead by Daylight here in a moment. But do you play Magic? I don't play Magic though, unfortunately. My cousin, rest in peace, by the way, he used to play Magic all the time. As a matter of fact, he used to be a Magic the Gathering champion, by the way. I'm going to pull up here. His name was Corey McDuffie. It's my cousin. I'm actually planning on getting into Warhammer. I haven't got into it yet because I'm actually going to start doing the D&D stuff for the Stranger Things. That I'm supposed to be getting here from Target. But I can actually get into Warhammer here soon. Corey McDuffie. Okay. Well, he was also a Yu-Gi-Oh champion back then, but Magic the Gathering. Ah, here it is. Full video. So Corey McDuffie right here. This is my cousin. He was the Magic of the Gathering champion. This is his first place tournament right over here.
Guys, today I thought it would be fun to look back at Corey McDuffie's first place 2014 North American Nationals deck list for his hat deck that he ended up piloting and winning the whole event.
I'm not sure if this is Magic though, but we'll see.
Compare it to modern hat lists.
Oh no, this is Yu-Gi-Oh, but still. He's got a Magic one somewhere. This is more like Yu-Gi-Oh, but like Magic the Gathering. Because I know some of my friends from back in high school used to play this too, so. I'm trying to see where it is. Oh, go back. Yeah, so somewhere on here. So he's got like these deck techs right there. Yeah, of course, really. I mean, you've been around for like quite a while on my streams, and honestly, you've definitely done more than deserve that. You've actually earned that shit. But no, like I miss him very much. Corey McDuffie, because he's also one of three siblings to my cousins Ryan and Chris McDuffie. He's a regional Yu-Gi-Oh champion and a regional Magic the Gathering champion. If I can find the videos for that, I can, but I'll submit those. But unfortunately, I really wish he was still here with us. Me and him were technically the second oldest of the bunch because back in the days, like in the 90s, it would be, you know, him, Chris, Ryan McDuffie, myself, you know, our other cousins as well, and my brother, my older brother. We hung out like at the times where we actually got to hang out at our grandmother's house, our aunt and uncle's house. Those are usually the days that I miss, and you know, it's heartbreaking for me because, you know, the last time I got to see, you know, my cousin was a long time ago during Thanksgiving. The last thing I said to him was that, you know, Merry Christmas back in like, I think it was like 2017, 2018. I could be a little bit wrong, but the last thing I said to him was Merry Christmas. He said Merry Christmas back, and then he unfortunately passed away. And it's hard. But we're not gonna be depressed. This is gonna be more towards that, but like it's fitting because he was more into Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh. I was more into Pokemon back in the day, and now I'm kind of getting a little bit more into like, you know, the D&D stuff. But we would have fun, and I would love sharing them. Okay, and if you guys have Dead by Daylight, I do recommend playing that because I'm, like I said, I'm waiting for Dustin Henderson to be unlocked because he comes out the 27th of January, and his alternate costume is Eddie Munson, and I'm so excited for that. So, ah, man. It's funny how time flies. Dude, Xbox. Season 4, thank you. Yeah, they started doing certain bans on certain cards now, so you can't use certain cards anymore, which kind of kills the fun out of it because the rules are kind of stacked on top now. But I'm out of date on it. You know, I love watching more sports nowadays. You know, like football, baseball. Um, but you know, I might actually consider building a deck back up. But like, there's nothing wrong with, you know, having the best of both worlds. You know. Oh yeah. Ooh. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 brings Stranger Things to your deck. Oh, dude, I need this. I'm downloading it right now. I might actually stream Dead by Daylight through PS5. I might have to take this though with me. It is a digital download stuff, so I'm not sure if you guys might be able to hear me, but if we actually do go together, because there is a certain event out right now where you can have if you do certain quests and certain events, you do unlock certain like profile pictures or whatnot, and then like a certain banner or whatnot. But there's a double reward system right now for blood points if you're playing as the survivor, or depending on the event that you're playing. If you play as the killer, you get double blood points for that as well too. But my two killers is the pig face killer from Saw, and the Demogorgon, which I'm waiting for Vecna to come through. But I'm gonna try to get Eddie from Iron Maiden as my next main for the killer. And then for right now, until Eddie Munson comes out, I'm playing as David Tapp as a survivor, uh, Steve Harrington, and there was one more that I had. Well, actually, no, I think it's just David Tapp from Saw, and then Steve Harrington from Stranger Things as my main for right now. My sports trivia is old and out of date. I'm still trying to get caught up with a lot of stuff. I mean, because the last time I've actually, I've seen the Braves, because the Braves is my favorite team in baseball. Cowboys are my favorite team, but you know, we got a lot to work on. But that's just how that is. Ooh, you know what? I wonder if I would be able to stream the flight simulator for Stranger Things. I wonder if they would allow me to do that. That would be pretty fucking fun. Dude. But yeah, no, I will definitely be streaming Dead by Daylight, and like if you guys want to join me on that, I will buy the full licensing version of it because right now I have PlayStation Plus for it. So if my PlayStation Plus expires, I have to wait until like payday to buy the entirety of it. So for right now, we'll just have to do it right there. Spencer Strider has an epic stash with doing pitching in the Braves. Ooh, okay. Well, if I get caught up on the modern days of the Braves, uh, I gotta definitely check back on stats because you know what? I might be doing fantasy league if I get caught back up in terms of football as well too. Because I used to do fantasy football, so I may as well do like fantasy sports to see how that goes. Accept and automatically install. Thank you. Finish. Oh, that is so cool. Next. Okay, so the cool thing about Stranger Things being filmed in Jackson, Georgia, is that it's approximately 30 minutes away from where my parents like live. That's the cool thing about this too for me. because it's in Jackson, Georgia, and bro. All right, where can I download the flight simulator? Flight simulator. Free crossover expansion from Microsoft. 11 players. Okay, where would I go for that then? Don't switch. Thank you. Go down to that. Okay, I don't need that anymore. I'm still streaming, which is good. Okay, so I can swap the screens here, my screensavers. But where would I go to download the actual game? We're gonna retry this here real quick. That's all right, man. Like I said, I still got to get caught up on baseball. It's been a long time, but like if I get more motivated, once I get like an entertainment center right here for my TV, I'm gonna get all that stuff caught up, and I'll be on like all that stuff together. I just need to buy some booze and alcohol while I'm at it. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so I need to download Microsoft Flight Simulator before I do that. Now, I don't have an Xbox, so my computer's going to have to be the closest thing to that. So I need to go to the store to do that. Recently tried absinthe, but it's strong. I haven't tried absinthe. I've tried like scotch. I've tried tequila. Bro, I got plastered to death, man. I could not tell up from down. Standard edition. What? Oh, man. It's like $70. Shit. I have to download that before I do that. All right, we'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to wrap up here. I had a good stream. I actually very happy. Hold on a sec. That's a little odd. I got a notification. Oh, okay, never mind. I know where that's from. So, like I said, I will be doing live streams with this from now on instead of using the phone. Make things a little bit more easier. Gives me more access to everything else. I actually had fun having a conversation and answering questions with you guys. I'm going to be doing a little bit more live streams. Drama-free, that is. Like, this is the step forward. We are not going to be moving into any more of ranting or drama escalations here on in from now on. So it does not matter what else kind of gets thrown my way. We're going to simply just walk past it, ignore it, and go on to separate things and for best things to actually be better for us. So that's where I can describe it. I've seen the strong, but has licorice taste to it. If you want more colorful description, imagine typo negative song as a liquor. That's actually not a bad idea. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be going to the liquor store here too, because I'm going to a bar, but on my way back from the bar, I do need to pick up some alcohol. I've got like 2 beers like left in the fridge, and that's about it. So thank you guys very much for this, and also thank you, by the way, Orlando, for being here. I'm glad that you, Chelsea, are basically my mods right there. So, dear, it's good to see you again. I'm also glad you guys got to come out and see me as well too. Um, and Sadir, yeah, it's good to see you again. I miss you to death. I still have you on Instagram, so if you ever just want to hit me up, just like catch up on some old times, feel free to let me know. Same with everyone else. I'm also on Instagram if you want to catch me there. I also have my karaoke videos on TikTok if you want to catch me there as well too. As a matter of fact, I'll provide the addresses of those. You got married? Congrats, Sadira, dude. I'm proud of you. Oh my gosh. Like, how long have you been married, by the way? I want to at least know that about that before I end the stream up. But like, congrats. A month. Well, good job, Sadira. I'm really proud of you, by the way. Oh man. See, I'm way far behind. I'm trying to get married. I'm trying to be like a husband. I'm trying to be a dad. I want 5 kids of my own one day. Not all at once, but like, I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband one day, Got married on the 20th of December. Posted picture. I need to go back and check those because I didn't see those yet. But I am proud of you, by the like I said, I know I'm talking fast, but like, good on you, mate. And I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of everybody else right now for still living life and still living life to its fullest right there. So I'm gonna be on Dead by Daylight. I don't leave for the bar here for like another 4 hours. If you guys want to catch me on Dead by Daylight, I might stream that live next. I'm not entirely sure. But thank you guys for coming out. So I'm gonna end this off by just saying that I'm glad we addressed the certain issues about that. But from here on out now, there's gonna be no more responses like that, no more drama, no more escalation. And again, just because I have my frustrations with people, to me they're not bad. They're not bad people. I'm not condoning anything. I don't condone any negative behavior of any kind to people that I disagree with or I have my frustrations with. So I just recommend, just from my point of view, that we just move on, just do what we do that makes us feel happy. But anyways, thank you guys for coming out. I will see if I might pop up on there and see if you guys want to catch me on there. My username is basically my first and last name, Jastin Winnowbow. I can address that real quick, or I can just write it out. Let me just try to I'll just do it like this. Instagram. Backwards compatible. Might join on Xbox. Okay, I didn't read that. My bad. Okay, so let me see if I can type this out. I'm not sure if it's gonna let me, but respond. Tell you what, Sadira, you're also gonna be my managing moderator as well too, because I missed you, and you've been a very, very wonderful follower and friend, and I do appreciate that. So, no, don't want that. Don't want that. Anytime. Chelsea, are you still here by any chance? One second. You know what? We'll just do it this way. Make it easier because it's not gonna allow me to type. We'll do it like this. Okay. So, can you type in my first and last name together? Because that is my PS username on there. I'll just write it out just in case too, but because I don't want people to confuse the fact that like my username is ThrashMetalGuru on YouTube, but my username on PS Plus is my first and last name. So let me just do this. Okay, so that is my username right there on PS, right there, or PlayStation. So if you guys want to join me on that, you can. Or if you want to see me stream from there, like I said, it'll be on here. We'll see how that goes, though, but I got to make sure. But let me just do that one more time, just in case, see if you guys need it. Okay. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a wonderful day. I will catch you guys very, very soon, and we'll walk in this new direction together. Thank you, by the way, Chelsea, and you guys have a wonderful